Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel where we discuss the Power Platform. Today's episode, I'm going to be having a look at licensing. Now, I'm not an expert on licensing, so I'm going to caveat this video straight away. Every individual organization has a different kind of setup and relationship with Microsoft, so this is not gospel. I'm really just picking up the licensing guides that are out there. And the reason I'm putting this video together is, I often get really confused, like there's Power Automate licensing, there's Power BI licensing, there's PowerApps licensing. Like when do you need these different types of licensing, and how do you start using the platform and, be very clear on what you need? So I'm going to be kind of really just stepping through documentation. I had to think about putting separate slides together, but at the end of the day, this will always change. So it's February 2021 right now. So if you're not in February 2021 right now, it's probably changed already. So, first of all, we have something called a Microsoft Office 365 plan. Now, this is a plan that's often in organizations, and it does start giving you some of the basic functionality that you need. So with a Microsoft Microsoft 365 plan, you can create apps, you can run flows, and you essentially need to use standard connectors. So that's the key thing here. So we can have Power Apps that are in our environment, shared with users, only with standard connectors, right? Can we use Dataverse? So we can, but it's a little bit complicated. We can use Dataverse, but not attach it to a Power App. So that means you can start storing data. Of course, there are limitations on how much data you can store, so I'm not going to run through too much detail here, but essentially you can use Dataverse, but without. Right. So then, fine, we're using standard connectors and we're using Power Apps. How do we then start using Power Apps premium connectors? Well, that's where you have the Power Apps plan licenses. Now, on this documentation here, of course you can change the country and see it in different currencies, but seeing as I'm in the UK, I decided just to have the UK version up throughout this particular video. So you have two types of licensing that we're presented with, which is the per app license and the unlimited apps. Now the really key thing I want to point out here is it's not just for the developer, right? So as soon as you use a premium connector, you need a Power App license. But that means that if you then share your app with 100 users, each of those 100 people need a Power App per app per month license. Now if you want to run unlimited apps, of course it makes more sense to use a per user. An unlimited plan here. Now, there's a few kind of different things that are included here. So you start seeing the capacity in here for the per app, per plan. You see the per user. So depending on how much data you want to hold, you may end up having, say, some of your users in the unlimited plan in order to take advantage of the capacity. Right. Power Automate. So can you then use Power Automate? You can, but there's a caveat in the fact that all Power Automates that you run must be either connected to the same data sources as in the Power Apps, or they need to be triggered by Power Apps. A little bit confusing, but makes sense once you've really studied this documentation. Fine. So now you've got Power Apps in your environment, but actually you just want to run Power Automates. You want to run Power Automates that are not to do with these Power Apps, not to do with the data sources. What do we do then? We have Power Automate licensing. So there's a couple of different licensing here. So we've got the per user plan again, so it's £11.30 per month for unlimited flows. You've got the per user plan with extended attended RPA, so this is robotic process automation, so it's a certain type of Power Automate that you want to run, and it also is with the AI as well, the AI capability. Now the third one there is the per flow. So this is basically unlimited users across your organization, so it's more to do with the number of flows that you have, and it's not a per app or per user plan. Now, fine, you've got Power Automate in your organization now. What about Power BI? That's another pricing category that we have here. Oh, actually, backtrack on that. Let's talk about Power Virtual Agents first, which is quite new. So for intelligent chatbots, it's £754.10 per month for 2,000 sessions. So that's kind of where it starts there, and there's a few different capabilities listed there. Now let's get on to Power BI. So Power BI is, again, priced differently. It's not included as standard in order to actually share your reports. So you have the Power BI Pro license, and this means you can actually publish and share reports within workspaces, and it's £7.50 per month per user. If, of course, you've got loads of users within your organization that need to use Power BI, you could opt for a Power BI premium license, and there's a lot more kind of data availability in terms of how much you can store. So I'm not going to go through line by line, but that's where we find that here. So the maximum storage here you see for a Power BI Pro license is 10 gigabytes per user. If it's Power BI Premium, then that's 100 terabytes per user. And yeah, I mean, the other thing worth mentioning on the PowerApps side is there are, of course, some add-ons that we may want to consider. So you've got PowerApps Portal, which is £150, 80 per month. So this is authenticated users, and then it's £75.40 to unauthenticated users, and if this is a page view capacity plan. And the last one here is the AI Builder per month. I hope this helped. If anything, at least you can have some of the links to have a look at. Licensing is never an easy subject and is an ever-changing subject. So please do look at the documentation. But I hope this helped. Thank you.